we've referenced all these problems in the First Corinthian church and how it's a parallel of what you see a lot going on in the modern Western church. To be fair, I believe the Lord is bringing that back into alignment. So we talked about how what it all flowed out of was they had become prosperous, they had become comfortable, and that led to an inflated ego. The New King James used the term puffed up, and Bones, you said the NIV was using the term arrogant,
Arrogant.
which was also in the footnotes of the New King that I was reading out of. But let's talk about some of the symptoms of that problem and how they exhibit themselves. And again, the reason we're doing that is because if you are out there, man, you're faithfully attending church, and but something's not right. Maybe these are some things to pray about. If you're exhibiting these symptoms, maybe it's something you need to pray about concerning you
Mm,
first and foremost.
right.
Okay, because you can treat the symptoms or you can treat the cause. It's always better to treat the cause. So
Absolutely.
over in First Corinthians chapter 1, what he references is under the highlight here of that little portion. It says sectarianism is sin, and he's saying, well, y'all are saying I'm this, I'm that. I belong to Paul. I'm of Apollos. I'm see, and you want to be special. You want to be different. But what that looks like? Well, I'm a good Baptist. I'm a good Methodist. I'm a Pentecostal. Well, I'm a Catholic brother with the original church, and then the Greek Orthodox are going, oh, really? Uh, so this divisions that are out there. We mentioned all the different denominations before several times, and it's just, well, it's atrocious. It means people can't get along. And what it really is I have to be different. And here's how I'm different.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a puff
Really,
up ego and it's a lack of love.
the root cause of it is no different than the reason someone wants you to uh, use the pronoun and call them they and theirs.
Absolutely.
Because look at me, I'm different.
I'm living in my fantasy and you have to play in my fantasy too,
Exactly,
or else
exactly.
you're mean.
So that's what's going on here is that um, I'm different than you, and I want you to acknowledge it. And so here's my label,
Yeah.
and my label is Baptist, Southern Baptist. So my label is United Methodist. My so on and so forth.
We're non denominational, brother. We're above all that.
Yes, which is a denomination unto itself.
Yeah. Talk about ego.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can see that a lot of us would be tempted. And if your pastor was soulish, he would go, well, I appreciate the compliment, but Paul did, Paul says, I wasn't crucified for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't throw my name around.
Yeah. It's Christ and Christ alone.
Right.
That's love.
Yeah.
Everything else is your ego. Well, I like this style of worship and I like that style of worship. And I just did this and I did that. And well, it's the old hymns, brother. It's the old hymns. And I don't see how you do that. It has to be contemporary. If something about that beat is just so anointed, all the stupid stuff you hear, and do I have my preferences with praise and
Mm-hmm.
worship? I actually do, and most of y'all
I
wouldn't get down with it because
certainly
usually
do.
my preference in praise and worship, actually play some Bach for me,
Yeah.
but that don't
Right.
mean nothing. I mean,
No,
it means something to me, but it definitely ain't got to mean the same thing to you.
but we don't have to fight over it.
Doggone right.
Yeah,
It
and
just
that's
gets,
and that's how you know it's the enemy. Uh,
yeah,
when the enemy gets you to fighting over you know music genre, then you've done taken your mind and your focus and your eyes off Jesus. Paul says, keep your eyes on Christ. Um, and when we start focus on things like genre and worship style and experience and all that stuff, we're no longer focused on Him. We've done because now all we're focused on is getting that soulish uh, hit.
Yeah, a little dopamine hit.
Yeah, that dopamine hit, and we'll wear that thing out
Oh
in
man.
search of that dopamine hit. But now you gotta keep your eyes on Christ, keep your eye on the
Well,
cross.
well, let's talk about it just as the same thing that happens with praise and worship. Preaching styles, exact
Yeah,
same thing. It
mhm,
ain't no different, man. No
yeah,
different at all. And what I like is by the time you get to chapter two, one of the other things that Paul gets in is, as far as the divisions of stuff, he's saying you're boasting about your own wisdom. He said, I don't want to know nothing but Christ crucified, that I might know his power.
yeah.
He said we're not trying to do like the Greeks. We're not trying to do logic and reasoning and all this stuff. He said, I determined to know not anything among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified. He said, I was with you in weakness and fear and much trembling. My speech and preaching were not with persuasive words of human wisdom, but to demonstrate of the Spirit and of power, that your faith should not be in the wisdom of men, but in the power of God.
He tries to entice us a little bit here too. I think uh, he talks about none of the rulers of this age understood it, but if they had, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory.
Mm-hmm.
However, as it is written, no eye has seen, nor ear heard, no mind has conceived what God has prepared for those who love him. But God has revealed it to us by his Spirit. He's trying to tell us that all these things that have never been revealed to us before are
Mm-hmm.
all available to us now in the Spirit. Uh,
It,
not in the soul, not in the soulish, though, only in the Spirit.
yep. Now, let me tell you another thing. But when you get into three, he's doubling down on the divisions,
Mm-hmm.
chapter three. And here's another theme that really, given what our message is, get in the word for yourself. Yeah, it challenges me because
Mm-hmm.
I want to make sure that I'm not wrong and I'm not egotistical. I know I have an ego. I'm just, C-Dub, Christopher Warenberg has an ego in certain things. And I got to keep that in check. At the
Yep.
same time, you got to be able to have a little bit of confidence in your ability to perform in certain areas to do things properly. But where the power of the Holy Spirit really comes in is to be able to do that without gloating and to be able to function, but not brag on yourself.
Yeah. The line between arrogance and confidence is very, very thin.
What happens though, we talk about the wilderness a lot, and that's you getting alone with God.
Mm-hmm.
It's not exclusively for you to get alone with God. It's for you to be empowered to do what he has called you to do.
Right.
So as I'm reading this week, this is a bunch of self-examination right here. But one of the things that Paul continually does in this letter is you see that there's an improper focus on individualism here in the Corinthian church. It's that pride and that ego that every member is kind of going, well, I'm doing that. This is my gifting. This is about me and my and I remember there was a God bless her. Um, there was a lady that went to our church, and then she's also friends with several of the same people that I still help out with ministry wherever I can and just maintain good relationship with. And whenever there's a testimony, I won't say their name, but they'll go, and Jesus just talked to me and he said, well, blah 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 blah. And Jesus, he was telling me and he was telling me blah blah blah. It was all about their conversation. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of me in that
Right.
testimony.
It almost makes a person sound uber spiritual.
Oh, very much so.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And maybe a person don't even mean to be that way.
And I think I really don't think they are.
Yeah.
Actually, so another reason I'm not mentioning a name. I don't want to embarrass anybody. But you go, tell me you were raised to be a little self-centered without telling me you were raised to be a little bit self-centered.